Everything you've been told about power is a lie. You were taught that kindness is strength, that fairness earns respect, that people will reward you for being good. But history tells a different story. The most powerful figures, the rulers, the emperors, the CEOs, do not play by those rules. They follow another law entirely, a brutal, unspoken truth. Fear is power. Weakness is death. Imagine a world where mercy is a fatal mistake, where a single moment of hesitation can cost you everything. This isn't just a theory. It's reality. It's why ruthless conquerors shaped history, while kind-hearted leaders were betrayed, overthrown, or forgotten. And no one understood this brutal truth better than Niccolo Machiavelli. In the 16th century, Machiavelli wrote a book so dangerous, so unapologetically ruthless, that the Vatican banned it. Its name was A Prince, a guide on how to seize power and never lose it. In it, Machiavelli revealed something terrifying. The world does not reward kindness, it rewards power. It is 1513. A man sits in exile, stripped of political influence, abandoned by the rulers he once served. But instead of begging for mercy, he does something extraordinary. He writes, not a plea, not a confession, but a calculated blueprint for power so effective that kings, dictators, and politicians have studied it for centuries. Because Machiavelli knew one thing. If you want to survive in a world ruled by power, you must be feared, not loved. This is the truth no one wants to admit. But what if Machiavelli was right? What if morality, fairness, and good intentions are actually making you weaker? The world is not fair. That's not cynicism, it's reality. We've been told that goodness leads to power, that kindness, justice, and fairness will earn rewards. But history tells the opposite story. Goodness does not grant power. Strength does. Those who wait for power to be handed to them never receive it. They are used, manipulated, and discarded by those willing to take it. And if you don't understand this, you are at the mercy of those who do. History proves the point. Consider King Louis XVI of France. He was no tyrant. He believed in fairness and compromise. And where did that lead him? To the guillotine. Louis reduced harsh laws, made concessions, and tried to be a king of the people. But in a time of revolution, weakness is a death sentence. The people did not respect his kindness. They saw it as weakness. Machiavelli would have predicted his downfall from the beginning. In The Prince, he warns, a prince who is too merciful invites chaos, while one who is feared maintains order. So why do people respect fear more than love? Most want to believe love is stronger, that a leader who treats people well will be respected and followed. But human nature does not work that way. Psychology shows that when people perceive someone as dominant, they instinctively defer to them. Fear creates control, and control gives the brain the stability it craves. That's why, even in everyday life, ruthless individuals often rise to the top. The CEO who fires half a company to save it, feared but respected. The politician who crushes opponents, hated but untouchable. The school bully, liked by no one, but obeyed by everyone. Machiavelli's most famous statement is this: it is better to be feared than loved, if you must choose. But what did he really mean? He wasn't advocating cruelty for cruelty's sake. He was revealing a cold truth. Love is conditional. Fear is reliable. People love you as long as you benefit them. The moment you stop, their love vanishes. But fear ensures obedience even in unhappiness. A leader who is only loved will eventually be betrayed. A leader who is feared will be obeyed, even by those who despise them. History is full of two kinds of leaders. The prince, ruthless, strategic, feared. The fool, kind-hearted, trusting, weak. The prince survives and shapes history. The fool is overthrown, killed, or forgotten. Take Julius Caesar, beloved by the people but too trusting. He forgave enemies who later stabbed him 23 times. Augustus, his successor, learned from that mistake. He eliminated rivals, crushed rebellions, and ruled unchallenged for over 40 years. Love made Caesar vulnerable. Fear made Augustus invincible. And this law of power isn't locked in the past. It's alive now. The most powerful CEOs and politicians do not win by being nice. They win by being ruthless when necessary. Steve Jobs was feared, not loved. He fired without hesitation, crushed competitors, demanded perfection. People hated working for him, but he built a trillion-dollar empire. Vladimir Putin rules with an iron fist, eliminating threats before they rise. Elon Musk has fired entire departments overnight, ignored public criticism, and dominated industries. People may hate him, but they respect his power. This is Machiavelli's lesson in action, and it leads to his most ruthless law: mercy is a trap. Mercy exposes weakness. Once shown, your enemies will exploit it. Machiavelli warns, a prince who pardons his enemies ensures his own destruction. Look at Mikhail Gorbachev, last leader of the Soviet Union. He believed in compromise, gave political rivals freedom, and trusted they would be fair. They used that freedom to dismantle his power. Contrast him with Joseph Stalin. Stalin eliminated threats before they could rise. He ruled unchallenged for decades. The lesson? Never give your enemies the chance to strike. Now you understand why fear outlasts love, why power is seized, not given, and why mercy can be fatal. But Machiavelli's philosophy was not about blind cruelty. It was about control. Fear is not the same as savagery. The goal is not to be hated. Hatred breeds rebellion. The goal is to make betrayal unthinkable. A ruler should punish betrayal decisively, but avoid needless cruelty. Too much mercy invites danger. Too much cruelty invites revolt. The balance is this: punish betrayal severely, make examples. Be predictable in rewards, unpredictable in punishments. Ensure your rule benefits the people through stability, protection, and prosperity. One of the greatest examples of this balance was Genghis Khan. Feared across continents, entire cities surrendered at the rumor of his army. Yet he was not hated by his own people. Why? Because those who were loyal thrived. Those who defied him were destroyed. That is a law of power Machiavelli understood, and the one most people refuse to see. Fear is not hatred. If your leadership brings stability, prosperity, or protection, the people will benefit from your rule. Even if they fear you, they will have no reason to rebel. These lessons are not theory, they are proven by history. One of the clearest examples is Genghis Khan. His name struck terror across the world. Entire cities surrendered without a fight at the mere rumor of his armies approaching. But here's what most miss: his own people did not hate him. They respected him. Why? Because he improved their lives. He created one of the safest trade routes in history, the Silk Road. He valued merit over bloodline, allowing the skilled to rise in rank. He crushed rebellions without hesitation, ensuring stability. His enemies feared him, but his people respected him. That is the art of fear. But fear alone will not keep power. You must also make ruthless decisions. Most leaders lose power because they hesitate, showing mercy at the wrong time. Machiavelli warned against this, believing that power depends not on kindness, but decisiveness. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. The most successful rulers in history shared one trait: they eliminated threats before they became problems. Why? Because removing threats early is the key to long-term survival. The fatal mistake of weak leaders is ignoring small dangers until they grow too large to control. Take Julius Caesar, for example. He was warned that a group of senators plotted against him, but dismissed it, trusting in his popularity. He believed no one would dare move against him. He was wrong. On the Ides of March, those very senators stabbed him 23 times in the Roman Senate. His refusal to act early led directly to his death. Now contrast that with Vladimir Lenin. After the Russian Revolution, Lenin did not wait for threats to mature. He destroyed them in their infancy. He crushed opposition before it had the chance to strike. As a result, the Soviet state he built endured for decades. Machiavelli would have called Lenin a master of power. Machiavelli's rule for traitors was simple: crush them immediately, or they will destroy you later. Never let a defeated enemy survive. Mercy toward an opponent who has already opposed you is an invitation for future revenge. King Richard II of England learned this the hard way. He exiled his rival Henry Bolingbroke instead of executing him, believing it an act of mercy. Years later, Bolingbroke returned, raised an army, overthrew Richard, and had him executed. Mercy, when given to the wrong people, is fatal. Joseph Stalin understood this principle better than most. He did not wait for enemies to challenge him. He eliminated them before they had the chance. His purges destroyed rivals before they could unite against him. Ethical? No. Effective? Absolutely. His ruthless approach ensured he ruled unopposed for decades. The reason most people fail at power is simple. They hesitate when they should act. Hesitation breeds weakness. Weakness invites destruction. Machiavelli was clear. If you must choose, it is safer to be feared than loved. But most people lack the courage to be feared. They want to be liked, seen as good. And that is why they fail. Because in reality, power belongs to those willing to be ruthless when it counts. Hesitation is fatal. Speed is deadly. One of Machiavelli's most effective strategies was striking before your enemy even knew a battle had begun. Napoleon Bonaparte mastered this. He won countless victories not only through strategy, but through speed and unpredictability. He moved his armies faster than anyone expected, attacking before his enemies could organize. They reacted to him, never the other way around. This is how Napoleon became the most feared leader in Europe. Now you understand how to be feared without being hated, why removing threats early is essential, why hesitation destroys leaders. But there's one final lesson, Machiavelli's most dangerous truth. Power is not just strength, it is perception. The greatest rulers in history didn't just win battles, they controlled how they were seen. They fed their enemies' lies while concealing their true abilities. A ruler may be stronger than all his foes, but if he appears weak, he will be attacked. A ruler may be hated, but if he appears beloved, no one will dare to rise against him. The difference between a king and a pawn is not raw power, it's how others perceive them. Machiavelli understood human nature. Men are simple and easily deceived. A wise ruler is never completely honest. The moment people know your true intentions, they can stop you. The deadliest mistake in power is being too honest about your goals. If you want power, never declare it. Let others think you are humble. If you want to eliminate a rival, never warn them. Smile until the moment you strike. If you want to change the world, let people think nothing is happening until it's too late. Julius Caesar himself used this. While his enemies believed he was loyal to the Roman Republic, he quietly built his army. He acted weak so no one feared him, then crossed the Rubicon and seized Rome in one swift move. His enemies never saw it coming until it was too late. This is the essence of Machiavellian strategy. A ruler must be both lion and fox. The lion is powerful but predictable. The fox is cunning but weak. The perfect ruler is strong enough to destroy enemies yet clever enough to avoid traps. The greatest trap in power? Trust. Above all, Machiavelli warned, never trust blindly. The one who smiles at you today might cut your throat tomorrow. Loyalty is fragile. Friendship is temporary. Trust is a vulnerability. Even Caesar ignored this once and paid for it. He trusted Brutus, a man he treated like a son. In the Senate, as the knives fell upon him, it was Brutus who delivered the final blow. Machiavelli would never have trusted a Brutus. Enemies are predictable. You know they wish you harm. Friends are dangerous because their betrayal is unexpected. If you must trust someone, ensure you have leverage over them. Appear weak, and people will try to use you. Appear harmless, and they will lower their guard. This is power. It is a game of appearances. Napoleon used this as well. Before he became emperor, he seemed an ordinary officer. No one considered him a threat. While others celebrated their victories, he planned his rise. When the time came, he struck with overwhelming force, making his enemies regret underestimating him. Machiavelli believed, if you strike, strike completely. Leave no chance for revenge. If you take power, leave no doubt you are in control. Half measures are the fastest path to destruction. And here is the final, brutal truth. Power is not about good or evil. It is about control. The strong act first. The weak hesitate and perish. Reality doesn't matter. Perception does. Never reveal your true strength. Let others underestimate you until it's too late. Machiavelli didn't see the world as moral or immoral. He saw it as it is, a ruthless game where only the strong survive. The world has never been kind. So, the question is this, will you control power, or will it control you? Power is game, and now you know the rules. But here's the real question. If you had the chance, would you use them? Would you embrace Machiavelli's laws, or refuse them, knowing it might cost you everything? History does not remember the kind. It remembers the victorious. So tell me, would you rather be feared or loved? If this truth makes you uncomfortable, good. That means you're starting to see the world as it really is. If you want more insights into power, psychology, and the brutal truths no one speaks about, subscribe. Because in this world, knowledge is not just power, it's survival.